Hi everybody. I do have another Mel Gibson movie to do, but I'm going to do it later because I'm actually doing a string of like war movies, like basically in historical order. This movie was released in 2003. And I saw this movie with my mom in the theater, and then saw it twice. The second time I seen it, I saw it with my husband. And this is the basic movie synopsis I gave him on this movie. I told him, I said, it's about a dude named Inman and a blonde-headed lady that loves him. If you've seen my husband, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I died laughing. And my husband, I asked him, I said, honey, does that sound somewhat familiar to you? And he said, yeah, it's this movie here, Cold Mountain. It's got Jude Law, Nicole Kidman, and Renée Zellweger in it. Jude Law plays a dude named Inman, and Nicole's his love interest. But that's basically the synopsis of it. It's, you know, that's like the briefest synopsis you'll ever probably get. It's about a guy named Inman, with the last name of Inman. I forget what his first name is. W.P. Inman. And, you know, I mean, this has got a pretty good cast in it. It's, of course, got Jude Law, Nicole Kidman, Renée Zellweger. She won an award for Best Supporting Actress in this movie. There's Eileen Atkins, Kathy Baker, Brendan Gleeson, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Charlie Hunnam, Natalie Portman, Giovanni Ribisi, Donald Sutherland, James Gammon, Jack White and Ethan Suplee. Donald Sutherland in this movie plays Nicole Kidman's dad, and he's a preacher. I actually really I love his character in that movie. I mean, in this movie, it is awesome. I mean, you know, because he's just, you know, like the kind of dad that I'm like laughing at, you know, but he's like totally cool. But I do really enjoy watching this movie. I mean, this is one of those few movies that I've actually can honestly say that I've watched at least twice. My husband and I have watched it a few times since it came out on video. In fact, I can't remember if I gave him this movie for Christmas or his birthday, because, I mean, Christmas and his birthday are like a week apart. His birthday comes first, though. But, you know, I mean, this is a really, really, really interesting movie because it's one of the most, like, hilarious, well, it's not hilarious, but it's, like, funny scenes in the movie is, like, there's this, like, bunny rabbit. It's at the beginning. The bunny rabbit goes running down, like, down in the ditch where the guys are hiding out, the Confederates, and they're like, look, there's breakfast, and they're chasing this bunny rabbit, and then all of a sudden, the ground goes, boom, you know, and it's like, boom, and it's like there's the explosion thing of it, and then there's like, you know, like the whole thing where they're like throwing like the, you know, the knives and stuff down on the Union soldiers, and they're all killing them, they're all, you know, fighting and stuff. But I mean, that whole thing with them chasing the bunny rabbit is like funny, like, look, it's a breakfast, you know. I mean, another very funny scene, and my husband says this to me, and I just roll my eyes whenever he does this, is he does a line Philip Seymour Hoffman does in here, and he goes, oh, I'm so plugged up, and he, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets hit with the urge to go, and he goes, and he's like, the Israelites are getting ready to flee the banks of Egypt, and I'm like thinking, I didn't need to know that, honey. But yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty interesting Civil War movie. Another funny scene involves Renée Zellweger and Nicole Kidman. There's this rooster that has just been giving Nicole grief because, of course, Nicole's character has been raised to, you know, be a proper Southern lady. Well, you know, she, you know, says, you know, well, I can, you know, arrange flowers for you, but I can't tell you, you know, like, how to grow them, but, the chicken's been giving her, the rooster's been giving Nicole's character grief. And what's so funny is, Renee's character shows up, and Nicole's like, that rooster is just, and Renee grabs the chicken up, you hear her yank the thing's head off, you see it hit the floor, and she says, let's put him in a pot. And you're like, oh my God, you're like, wow, it's just, but this is a really good movie. What it is like, it talks about how Nicole's waiting for Inman to come back, and, everything. The movie, it's parts of it are really hard to watch because it does get a little sad in spots, and the ending, you're just like, by the time it's over, this is actually a fairly long movie. It's 154 minutes from beginning to end. But I'll tell you, this is a really good movie, and I do recommend it. But there's another line in here. It talks about seed has a job, a bird has a job, the poop's got a job, the goat's got a job, and you've got a job. And it's like, as Inman's trying to get back to Nicole's character, and I'm like, okay, that's a pretty blunt way to put it, but it's just totally weird. Well, anyway, I do highly recommend this movie, Cold Mountain. This was actually filmed in Romania, so when they're talking about the Blue Ridge Mountains, that's not the Blue Ridge Mountains in the movies, children. I've actually lived in Asheville, North Carolina, which is in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The Blue Ridge Mountains are beautiful, but I'm not complaining. You can't have everything, Well, anyway, I'm going to pause here because I have another few movies to shoot, and I'll be right back, okay?